Oh, yeah. Five-star. LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going off to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This is the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up, hey. 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 Way down in the back.
TA, we are live. Welcome to the Tigers Avenue show. Big show, obviously, coming up for this weekend. Yo, Adam says, yo, how's my boy Luca doing? Was Adam the one who guessed the name right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I
do remember that. Luca's doing good. He's actually asleep right now. He's asleep. So he's doing great.
Boy's getting big. He's growing.
I mean, we'll blink and he'll be 2 years old. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
March, he'll be 2.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Man.
Adam. So, yeah, Adam, appreciate you. Appreciate you being in here. Luca's doing great. Zeke was the perfect, sweet little angel child. Luca is a turd head. That's how that's how it is. So,
did you just call your child a turd head on live stream?
He can be a turd head. I mean, I don't know other way to put it. He is at times. I love him to death, and he's a lot of fun. But there's times when he can be a turd head. It just is reality.
So is it more like you?
Maybe.
Zeke's more like his mama.
There you go. But
look, he won me a nice pair of shorts, so we're bonded now.
There you go. Forever bonded. With your TA shorts. Appreciate you, Adam, being in here. Hopefully you'll stick around to hear this preview. Zach, big game this weekend, obviously. First, we'll get you an injury update, though. Obviously, there's lots, Zach, to cover when it comes to the injury update on both sides, both teams. Things that need to be discussed that could, potentially really, really impact this game.
Yeah,
that could really have an effect on this game. So we'll delve into those things and kind of look at how those might affect this weekend for the Tigers and the Rebels. And then, of course, we'll give you kind of our preview on the game, our thoughts, the matchups, right, things like that, things of that nature. And then, of course, we'll give you our game predictions. I mean, this is not a secret, but at the beginning of the year, we both had this as a loss, being LSU's second loss on the season. And so we'll kind of give you our updated prediction for this game, how that may look, how our perception might have changed, might have stayed the same, whatever that is. We will give you our game predictions as well. So, Tyler Townsend, go ahead and shout him out before we get going here. Zach Tyler's in here. What's up, buddy?
TT.
In here, TT. So, Zach, injury update on LSU and Ole Miss as well. Zach, I guess we can start with Ole Miss. Zach, obviously, Ole Miss kind of had a grocery list of players that were on their injury report. And obviously there's one that's everybody is concerned about and everybody wants to look at. But, Zach, what is some of the players of importance there on Ole Miss's list that are, ones that you're going, okay, these guys are the ones that really could be out and could affect this game?
Yeah, so Ole Miss's line's obviously banged up a little bit. Jaden Williams is out for the game. Jeremy James is questionable for the game. So the offensive line is definitely already banged. Yeah, they're already banged up. couple guys that are out, Cedric Beavers and Isaiah Hartrip, wide receiver and corner. I mean, Isaiah Hartrip, you're not really worried about that because you know who their wide receivers are.
Yeah.
He's not a key contributor, but Cedric Beavers, DB out. Then obviously the biggest one. Well, let me hold off on that. JJ Pegues, who's their starting tight end, is also very questionable. So, and then what we're hearing is he's not on the list, but apparently Parrish is also dealing with an injury. So it looks like he's a go, but is he 100%?
Right.
He's not. So, and then obviously the big one is Trey Harris. You know what?
Yeah.
How is Trey Harris? He's listed as questionable. He's not listed as out. Listed as questionable. We obviously heard Lane Kiffin on Monday discuss how they were going to prepare to be without him. When I heard that initially, I thought, okay, I think he's just saying that because I think they are 100% preparing for him to play. I think if Trey Harris gets the opportunity to play, like he's going to play.
Yeah.
A chance to be in Louisiana, play at Death Valley, like you don't think that's a kid that wants to play at LSU? Like he's gonna play, in my opinion. So now the question for me will be, how effective will he be? Obviously, at 100%, he's the best wide receiver in the country, and obviously, you don't have anybody that can guard him defensively on LSU's side of the football. So, it's a fortunate break for LSU that he is dealing with this injury. But personally, I fully believe that we're going to see Trey Harris suited up and be in the game on Saturday. Now, maybe that again is Lane Kiffin trying to play with the mind, Brian Kelly's mind a little bit, and thinking that he's going to be in there. But I thought it was Lane Kiffin playing with the mind there in the press conference on Monday. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think he's going to be out there. You can give me your opinion on that, but Ole Miss is definitely banged up. We discussed this the last two podcasts that we've had.
Yeah.
Obviously, after their loss to Kentucky and heading into South Carolina, we mentioned, how this is their 7th straight game. They have not yet taken a bye week. They get their bye week next week after the game, after this game Saturday versus LSU. And obviously, it has cost them. Not drastically, but it's definitely cost them where they are a little banged up. And so, obviously, that favors LSU. That's going to be good news for LSU. You never want to cheer for injuries, and I'm not saying that we're doing that, but sometimes it takes a little bit of luck for your team to win, and this might be a little bit of the luck that LSU needs with a couple of their star players dealing with hampering injuries. So, anyways, on LSU side, we obviously know about all the other guys, that have been out. Perkins obviously out. I don't have to go through that list. We know the guys that are out for the season. But news today, Kyle Parker with a torn tricep is officially out for the season. Officially.
Brutal.
So which is really difficult, because you're also dealing with another guy on the injury list and Chris Hilton, who is questionable. Kyle Parker's out. Chris Hilton's questionable. We have still yet to see Chris Hilton take a snap this season, and which I hate for him. And I just hate it because I'm like, I'm really ready to see Chris Hilton, like what he can do with this team. And we just haven't been able to see it yet. So, the injury to Kyle Parker and putting him out for the rest of the season, I'm not like super concerned. Like I'm not like in panic mode about the wide receiver room, but there's definitely a little bit of worry there now that, somebody who had already replaced Chris Hilton is officially out for the season. Another wide receiver, CJ Daniels, is also dealing with an injury. He's marked questionable, so not out, but questionable. And so your wide receiver room is definitely taking a hit here heading into the Ole Miss game, which you don't want heading into the Ole Miss game because obviously your passing game has been the best part of best aspect of your offense this season. I still think, Kyron Lacey, Aaron Anderson, Xavion Thomas, Mason Taylor, I think LSU will be okay. As the game gets, moves along, it's later in the game. when you're having to rotate guys in, you're not going to be able to have guys rotate in that have as much reps as a Kyle Parker or a CJ Daniels
Right.
has had. So and hopefully we get to see CJ Daniels, and hopefully we get to see Chris Hilton make his season debut this Saturday, but that's still up for question. My biggest concern is not in the wide receiver room, Reagan, but it's over at linebacker on the other side of the ball. Wes Weeks marked as questionable. A lot of people are saying he's out. He is going to be out. So we'll have to wait and see. But from everything that I've heard, sounds like he's not playing, which leaves you extremely thin at linebacker. Obviously, Greg Penn's back there and Whit Weeks. And you have, some young guys there, freshman Xavier Adkins, Devon Keys. So you got some young guys there. But in a game like this, it really doesn't bode well for you to be able to be really thin at linebacker. Now, when Greg Penn and Whit Weeks are in the game, you feel confident, right? LSU's rushing defense has progressed and has looked pretty solid this year. Not great, but solid. Obviously, you had the huge runs that happened against South Carolina and Guggenheim, when LSU played Nichols. But outside of those 3 runs, LSU's rushing defense has looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So the good news here, Reagan, is no DBs. No DBs. You're not dealing with any injuries in the secondary at the corner spot or at the safety spot, which is obviously where you 1,000% can't take a hit. You got to have guys back there. And Zy Alexander is a full go. He's not even listed on the injury report, so he's a full go after dealing with his concussion these past 2 weeks and going through concussion protocol. He's a full go. Speaking of the defense, on the defensive line, you got a couple of defensive tackles, JVR Suggs, Jalen Lee, that have been dealing with some injuries. They are probable, okay? Yeah. So doing a little bit better than, a guy like Wes Weeks and CJ Daniels and Chris Hilton. So their projection is likely that they're going to play, which is also really good because you're going to need bodies to rotate in there at defensive line, again, going up against a really good Ole Miss offense and going up against a running back who's might be injured, going to play, but might be dealing with an injury. But a guy who averages 6 yards a carry, is it Henry Parrish?
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to say something different for their first name, but Henry Parrish, a guy that averages 6 yards a carry. You're gonna need those guys rotating in at defensive tackle to try and stop the run. So that's the gist of the injury report for LSU and Ole Miss. Obviously, everybody wants to know what's going to happen with Trey Harris, and I think on the LSU side, everybody wants to know, are you going to have those 2 receivers and CJ Daniels and Chris Hilton? And then, but for me, the biggest concern is obviously Wes Weeks. You need to have Wes Weeks, so I really hope he's able to play.
Zach, was Caden Durham not on the injury report?
Caden Durham is marked as probable, so looks like he's going to play.
Okay, yeah, and that was a big one too. I mean, dislocated 2 toes there in the South Alabama game. How quickly
two toes, bro? Wrap that puppy up.
Right.
Put a shot of cortisone in it. Whatever you got to do, you're good. You're good.
Right. Well, I mean, you assumed 2 dislocated toes he was going to be bad.
Can play.
How bad did it affect him? Is it? And I think in all reality, as crazy as it sounds, what toes, right? I mean, that could affect how you're planting, and cutting. It could affect that. So
yeah.
Again, I don't know. I don't know what toes. I'm not going to ask, hey, Caden, what toe you dislocate, right? But certainly that was a question, and but I think he's going to be fine, and we'll be just as effective, and hopefully it won't be kind of nagging and giving any problems, and maybe he'll be full go this coming Saturday, and won't slow him down any. Certainly want him in the game because, man, I think he's going to need touches. He's going to play some. I think some very important role in LSU's success of this game. LSU's going to need to run the ball well in this game. Now, I mean, we've been successful in the past game. There's no doubt about that. But you obviously want to run a balanced offense and keep the defense on their toes. And if you can get Caden in there and keep him rolling like he has been, That's what we want to do, man. And that's what we need to do. So I'm glad to hear he's probable. And obviously, like you said, we expected it as well. Zach, honestly, the Trey Harris injury, I think, swings my opinion on this game. I really do. I just can't get over how incredibly drastic. I get it. Jordan Watkins was good last year, and Juice Wells was preseason, right? Like SEC, all SEC. And they're talented. And Jackson Dart, I think, is still going to get them the ball. But if Trey Harris does not play in this game, I think it affects this game and could certainly potentially affect the outcome of this game. Because 52 catches, Zach, in 5.5 games, and then the next closest is 18. That is just unheard of. I mean, they're not just leaning on him; they're falling on Trey Harris. Yeah, I mean, they are. Yeah, I think your mic's muted or something, Zach. I was missing what you were saying there.
I just said that's a good point there that you make.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't ignore how much Jackson Dart is leaning on Trey Harris. I mean, he's a crutch, right? And I look, he didn't play the second half against South Carolina. They only scored 3 points. And they were on the road in the SEC. I like Death Valley a little bit more than I like Williams-Brice, especially Death Valley at night. 100-year celebration. It's going to be, I mean, as good as it gets for Death Valley on Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah.
It is going to be as good as it gets. And if they don't have Trey Harris, man, it does swing my opinion on this game. So that will certainly be something to watch. If he has any chance, like you said, to go, certainly he would go. There's no doubt about that in my mind. It's one of the biggest games of the year for both teams. It's so critical of a spot in the season. And, man, they like throwing to him. There's no doubt about it. So, if he's not playing, I want to like mulligan on my prediction. I may just throw out a caveat prediction. If Trey Harris is not playing, here's my prediction.
Well, you definitely could do that. You definitely could do that.
I certainly think I'm going to do that for our game predictions because that is it's just too drastic to ignore. It really is, Zach. And, man, if this game was in Oxford, to me, it'd be like a foregone conclusion. Trey Harris would not. But we understand how this series has played out recently, right? The home team has had the advantage.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see a game like we saw last year. I just don't. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. And we will have, I mean, of course, we won't have, some of our guys that can be crucial at times, like CJ Daniels, he's questionable. Or Kyle Parker, he's questionable. Or Wes Weeks, he's questionable. But we've got our dudes, right? We can lean on our guys that we trust. Aaron Anderson, Kyron Lacey, Mason Taylor, right? So if they ain't got their guy in a hostile environment celebrating 100 years of Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, and I think our offense is really great. I think our offense is great and can keep up in this game and that the crowd can have a factor in this game. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. But my point is that injury is so crucial to this game. And quite honestly, I think that we won't have a final say-so. We probably will not have a final say-so on Trey Harris.
Yeah. We're not going to know until game starts.
Like, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he even suited up, even if he's not playing. He suited up, went out there, walked around, acted like he's warming up, whatever it may be. I mean, unless the injury is so significant that he doesn't need to be warming up. But I don't think it is because if it was, we would already know he's not playing.
Yeah.
So I think up into the game, he's going to be pads on everything, right? I would expect this to go up to game time. So for LSU's sake, which it's Thursday, for LSU's sake, you got to prepare for him.
100%.
They have to be prepared for Trey Harris. But like you said, it's good news is Zai is full go, and that bodes well for LSU. It really does. I mean, he's your best corner. Him and Stamps out there, you like that a lot better than what you could be having and could be running out there. With Zai healthy, you like your chances better. So with Trey Harris potentially out, man, that could swing, a lot of things in this game. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that could swing some things. But Zach, those are kind of most of the injuries. I hate to hear for Kyle Parker. I'd like to know how he did it because I don't think I ever saw it on the field, like the actual injury happened. Because we were talking and he got popped in the USC game. I remember that, and he hurt his arm. I know it was something with his arm, but obviously that would not have been the torn ligament because, of course, the UCLA catch happened, right? The deep bomb to him. So I don't know, Zach. I don't know when that happened. Hate to hear it for the young guy. He looks to have a lot of potential. But Zach, I think Brian Kelly was already tipping. That news had not broke yet, but he was kind of tipping his hand a little bit in the press conference today, because he was saying guys like Shelton Sampson, Jelani Watkins are going to get some looks potentially, especially if C.J. Daniels can't go or Chris Hilton can't go. Right, Shelton Sampson, Jelani Watkins certainly are probably going to be getting some reps. If all three, right, we know one's out, but if all three are out, Chris Hilton and C.J. Daniels, they're going to have to play.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play. And, it was kind of like, okay, well, what about Kyle Parker? Well, now we know about Kyle Parker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of telling you without telling you, right? Didn't mention him. Now we know. Now we know why. So it's fun, seeing young guys out there, but in a game like this, you just want your guys that you trust, that are talented, that can go out there and make plays. So, all right, Zach, there's been a couple more comments fly in here.
Ryan's in here. He said, "Hey, how's it going, Pastor Reagan and Brother
Ryan.
Zach and everyone else? Which tricep does Kyle Parker need? I can donate one. Can't donate a knee because mine aren't too good anymore." Danny Girl said, for those that watched the Harris injury live, they claimed it looked really bad, and because of that, and some reports from Ole Miss, I think Lane is playing games. I think he is out. They need him more against Georgia.
Well, there's certainly Ole Miss certainly has been going on with some gamemanship, right, with injuries.
Yeah.
They call it gamemanship. I don't know how sportsmanlike it is, but
that ain't too much. I don't know if it's too much sportsmanship there.
When it comes to injuries in Ole Miss this year,
they're not going to show their cards.
Right. And of course they fake the injuries all the time too. So it's kind of like we don't know what to believe. We don't.
Yeah, like the faked injury. What was it, a couple weeks ago against Kentucky or who?
Yes.
Yeah. Get down.
It's been happening. It's been happening. It happened against South Carolina. I mean, you just wait. You just wait. I mean, yes. You wait till LSU starts. You wait till LSU starts ripping on a drive and gashes Ole Miss a couple times, gets a big first down. Somebody's going to fall on the ground. Somebody's going to come up cramping.
Oh, my leg.
Bobby Watts, hey, stop the booing. Appreciate you being here, Bobby.
Hey. I'm not stopping the booing.
We are booing Ole Miss.
We're booing Ole Miss and their fake injuries. Come on, LB. Come on.
Seems legit.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Not really, but
Have you ever seen LSU fake an injury? I don't think I have.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen one where it was like, yeah, we definitely just faked an injury right there.
Ole Miss has been called on several.
They've been caught on several.
A lot. Like dead to rights.
Yeah.
Like homeboy sprinting down the field, turns, looks to the sideline. Oh God, I'm hurt. or Jackson Dart literally going, "Hey,
Get out.
fall down." But well, I mean, it is what it is, and so I think Danny has a valid point there. They certainly like to play games when it comes with the injury. So who knows? Who knows? We will see. I mean, I certainly think Lane Kiffin would draw this out if he, if he's out, Lane's going to draw it out as long as possible.
Oh, yeah,
for sure. No doubt about it. All right. With that being said, Zach, we need to get into the details of the game. Not the injuries.
Oh, boy.
Not the injuries, but we need to get to the details of this game, matchups, key matchups, all of the above. What and also maybe a path to success for LSU as well. What does that look like on Saturday? Zach, what is the biggest matchup of this game? What do you think is the biggest matchup of this game? Where can LSU have the most success on Saturday?
I'm not going to say it's LSU's DBs versus Ole Miss's wide receivers because we already know how that's going to go.
It's certainly not. I don't think that's the matchup.
My biggest matchup is going to be LSU's offensive line versus Ole Miss's defensive line. In order for LSU to win this game, I think they need to take a path that was similar to Kentucky, which is to slow down the game.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU is a pass-first offense, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to be. They don't want to be, but they are. And that's because of how defenses have played them. LSU needs to be able to establish the run. LSU needs to be able to get push in the run. And if LSU's offensive line is able to dominate the line of scrimmage or just win at the line of scrimmage on offense, this could play very well for LSU. It really could. Which, by the way, I'm glad Ryan said it. It's not path, but I forgot our TA tools for triumph.
There you go.
How could we forget that from last year? The
Right.
TA tools for triumph is for LSU to dominate at the line of scrimmage. I mean, you could say that for almost every single SEC game that has ever been played. But I think specifically in this game, it's going to be LSU's offensive line versus Ole Miss's defensive line. Ole Miss has a good defensive line.
Yeah, no doubt.
They've got Ivy. They've got obviously Walter Nolan. They've got a good defensive line. LSU needs to be able to get push, and then they need to be able to slow this game down with the rushing attack in order to keep Ole Miss's offense off the field and your defense off the field so that you set yourself up to help your defense to not have to be on the field as much, not take as many snaps, and not have to get as many stops if it's a game like last season. 100% Brian Kelly is going to avoid a game like last season, like 100%. So I think you're going to see a game where LSU is really going to try and establish the run. I specifically think like very much early on, you're going to see them try to establish the run early on. And for sure in the fourth quarter, if it's a close game, keeping the ball away from Ole Miss, long sustained scoring drives for LSU. That's what you got to see. Now, with that being said, is Ole Miss going to take a similar approach like a lot of LSU's opponents have already done in this season, which is to stack the box and make you throw? If they do, Ole Miss secondary is the weakness of that defense. And I think Garrett Nussmeier and Kyron Lacey and Aaron Anderson and Mason Taylor, hopefully CJ Daniels, guys like that, I think they're going to be able to get yardage and be able to move the ball down the field, even through the passing attack. So I feel confident in LSU's offense going up against that Ole Miss defense. The question will just be how effective is the offensive line against that defensive line in establishing the run. So that's my biggest matchup in this game. Where LSU needs to really excel defensively is you need to stop the run. You need to stop the run. Make them one-dimensional. Make them one-dimensional. You know you're not going to be able to stop the pass. Like, we know that. They're not going to be able to stop the pass. You're going to play off the wide receivers. You're going to allow stuff inside. You're going to allow stuff underneath, and that's going to happen. So LSU's going to give up yards in the passing game, but can you make them one-dimensional? And can your defensive line get enough pressure and cause enough chaos like they have been this season to be able to set Ole Miss behind the chains or to be able to force some turnovers? So that's going to be massive. I'll tell you a sleeper pick on this, Reagan. I'll tell you a sleeper pick. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
And it's perfect for LSU Ole Miss. LSU's punt return versus Ole Miss punt defense.
That's what I'm talking about.
Xavier Thomas.
That's what I'm talking about.
Been
Yes.
so close to a potential
Come on.
game-changing play on punt return and on kickoff return.
Give me that Billy Cannon, that OBJ.
I don't want to say I'm going to predict it. I don't want to say I'm predicting it, but I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good about the possibility of Xavier Thomas doing something special on special teams this Saturday. And if he does,
that could be the difference.
It could be the difference. Or even if it's not a touchdown, right? You don't have to have a touchdown. You don't have to have a kickoff return for a touchdown or a punt return for a touchdown. But on a drive when you absolutely need it, flipping the field, getting LSU in plus territory early on in a drive.
Yeah.
Like, that could be huge for this team and for this game. So Xavier Thomas and the return game is kind of my sleeper pick and matchups to watch. We know what he can do. Is he able to change this game specifically? He hasn't yet, but he's been close.
He can. He certainly can. I like that. I really do. And certainly something that we've talked about. It just hasn't come to fruition yet, and I think it's on the brink of happening.
It's a matter of time.
He will, I think, break one eventually. He's just so talented, man, and it's not that he hasn't done anything, because let me make that clear. He's been fantastic, and he's gotten you some crucial catches and brought the ball back when it could have been like deep in your own territory. I think of the one where he caught over his shoulder, turned around, picked up some yards. Like, that's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Things like that are massive. Field position, starting field position, certainly can affect this game. And you're right, Xavier Thomas is a weapon in that. But boy, oh boy, Zach, if we can find a way for Xavier to find the end zone, get us a special team score, man. I mean, could you imagine Death Valley if Xavier Thomas takes a punt to the house?
100-year anniversary against Ole Miss.
That place will go berserk.
Yeah, it will.
That place will go bonkers.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
If he houses one, God, I feel bad for any Ole Miss fans in there. Holy cow. Man, you that would be fantastic. That's certainly good, and I'm glad you brought that out. Zach, here's my matchup. Here's my matchup for the game. I'm going to go the opposite side, but the same thing. LSU's defensive line against Ole Miss's offensive line. For me, it's the key matchup of the game. It's the key matchup of the game. I agree with you. It's very important. Look, if you can keep Nussmeier upright, he's going to find his guys, and this offense will be successful.
Yeah.
If this O-line, LSU's O-line, can create a run game, we really need it. You need to control time of possession in this game, like you said. But on the flip side, as you've mentioned, the rushing defense, outside of a couple blown plays, has been very solid. And we need it desperately to continue in this game. When you look at teams who have had success stopping Lane Kiffin's offense, they were able to stop the run. Yes, Ole Miss is known for the explosive plays, but it is always set up with a run game. And when, like you said, they've been able to make them one-dimensional is what, and that's point blank what Brian Kelly said he wants to do, making them one-dimensional. When you're able to do that, you can eliminate explosive plays. That is why it is so stinking important about Trey Harris. Because Trey Harris is the guy making the explosive plays all year long.
Yeah.
I think Juice Wells has one broke play against South Carolina last week. One. But that was when Trey Harris was in the game. If you take Trey Harris out the game, the likelihood of Juice Wells or Jordan Watkins breaking one loose goes down because you're not concerned about Trey Harris.
Yeah.
He has been the guy. I've watched him against Wake Forest, against Georgia Southern, against South Carolina too, against Kentucky, who's been the one to make the big plays. If you can stop the run, make Ole Miss one-dimensional, you can limit the explosive plays that they thrive off of. That is what they thrive off of. They set it up, they punch you in the mouth, they hit the home run, whatever you want to call it, and then they play from a lead. And that's what they want to do. And against Kentucky, they didn't play with a lead. And in the second half, they didn't have a huge lead to just kind of coast to the win. They were in a dogfight. They don't want a dogfight. Ole Miss does not want a dogfight. They want to press go. They want to hit the gas, take a lead, and cruise to the end. They don't want a dogfight. You got to make it a dogfight. Stop the run, limit the explosive plays, and it starts at the line of scrimmage for this defensive line. Savion Jones, Braden Swinson, getting after Jackson Dart, making him feel the pressure. And that also, of course, the crowd will play a part in that as well. But on the field itself, getting pressure after Jackson Dart so his throws aren't clean, the pocket isn't clean, and making him throw errant throws. If you do that while also taking away the run, that means you're getting stops. If you're stopping the run, you're getting pressure after Jackson Dart, you're getting off the field on third down. That is the success that this defense, for me, the offense will score points. I think our offense is going to score points. How do you want to win this game? Keep Ole Miss from scoring points. How can you do that? Make them one-dimensional, limit the explosive plays. That's what they like to do. That's their style of play. You don't let them play their style of defense. And as Ryan says, yes, for goodness sakes, tackle. You've got to be clean tackling. If you take the run away, they're going to start pitching it out to the flats. And they're going to try to get the yak. They're going to pitch it out to their receivers, try and block up field and get yak. You got to tackle. You can't see the Major Burns flying up from the safety position or the star position on a screenplay trying to suplex, super slam somebody with his shoulder and them just bouncing off of him.
Wrap up.
You've got to have technically, fundamentally sound tackling.
Yeah.
If you do all those things, you can limit Ole Miss's offense. I trust our offense. I trust our offense to go score. Kyron, Aaron, Nussmeier. I trust our O-line. Is it a good D-line? Yeah, I think it is, but I trust our O-line. They're just so veteran. They're so solid. They're going to do the things necessary for our offense to take care of business. you got to limit their offense.
Yeah.
And if you can keep this game close, they don't like playing that kind of game. That was obvious. That was obvious in the Kentucky game. In their own stadium, they looked like they were lost in a dogfight. Keep this game close in a huge hostile environment, right? And I think LSU can see a lot of success. To me, that's the path to success. Is our defensive line stopping the run? Whit Weeks, Greg Penn. We need another game like they played against South Alabama, right? Everybody was worried about South Alabama with Bothwell, right? The freshman that looked so good. He wasn't even their leading rusher that night. He didn't even go for 50 yards. Again, I get it. It's South Alabama. But Greg Penn, Whit Weeks were coming up and stopping the run.
Yeah.
The D-line was filling the gaps the way they needed to, and they were allowing the linebackers to make plays. We got to do that. We've got to do that on Saturday. So that's my key for success, is our front seven making it a little bit easier on our back end defense. We know it's our weakness. We got to do our job up front so we make it easier for our guys in the back. Make plays, create pressure, stop the run, and you can contain this offense. Now, are they, like you said, Zach, they're going to score points, they're going to get passes, but how many stops can you accumulate to limit them and for your offense to go score and keep you ahead, keep you in the game with a crowd that's going to be behind you?
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's the success. The success of this game, for both of us, Zach, really, is the line of scrimmage. It's the line of scrimmage. So that's what I want to see. When Jackson Dart, Zach, their offensive line is injured. Their tackles are injured. We got to take advantage of it. We need to go take Jackson Dart's head off. I want to see a strip sack. Punch the ball out. We need havoc plays like that. Zach, if Xavier Thomas returns a punt in this game and you get a strip sack and you get points off of that strip sack, you're probably winning this game.
Probably winning the game. Yeah.
You're probably winning this game.
Yeah.
LSU needs to do things like that. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. We need them to show up this weekend and make those plays.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's got to be on the defense. I trust our offense.
If we can get one or two turnovers somehow, and you have something like a special teams big play, I think it bodes really, really well for LSU. Ryan said Swinson and Jones are going to have to not over pursue Dart. Yeah. You got to be able to contain. Obviously, Adam mentioned that as well. My concern is missing assignments and losing contain, also leaving the middle of the field open. I think they're going to leave the middle of the field open. I think that's just going to happen, Adam, to be honest with you. The thing is, they don't want to have the explosive plays. They don't want to, 50, 60-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Dart to Trey Harris. Limit the plays. Make them have long drives to slow the game down. Danny Girl said, what makes it so hard to pick LSU is that we have not seen fundamental tackling, especially from the vets, and what makes us think they suddenly learn it in one bye week.
I agree. I agree. Totally.
That's a good point. Adam said, to be fair, the main three missing tackles, one is out for the season, and two have been talked about being replaced. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what safeties roll out there on Saturday. I gotta be honest. I think you're going to see, from what it sounds like, Javen Taviano is going to play the star role. You won't see as much Major Burns, and it also sounds like you're going to see Jordan Gilbert and Sage Ryan, maybe some more of Jordan Allen back there. I don't know, but sounds like Major Burns might not start, might be Javen Taviano. We'll see at the star role. Ryan says, I want it.
It's a want to.
It's a want to. Yeah. I thought he said, I want a turnover. I want a turnover too, but he said it's a want to. Yeah. Those guys got to want to. And I think, this will be a game, Reagan, where they're going to they're going to have more of that. They're going to have more of a want to because of the setting, because of the matchup and how big it is. I honestly think that those guys are going to have a want to. Adam said dart running up the middle and hurdling a guy is pretty explosive. Yeah, that's true. But I'll say this: Dart hasn't looked great these last 2 games. He hasn't looked like impressive. So, can he look impressive at night in Death Valley, full throttle, 100,000+? We're gonna have to wait and see. Oh, Danny Girl said people fooling themselves. Number 8, number 3 are not coming off that field, no matter how much we want. Well, the question is, do you trust your guys that have played SEC games the last 3 years, or do you trust a freshman in a massive, massive game? And I think that's a large part of why they have rolled out so many freshman guys on defense these last 4 weeks. They want to know who can play. So we'll see. Oh, Danny Girl, I think that Javen Toviano is going to get a lot more reps than Major Burns will on Saturday. I could be dead wrong. Could be absolutely dead wrong. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like Javen Toviano is going to get a lot more run than what we've seen. I think 3 is going to be out there. I honestly, I understand the missed tackle against Lenora Sellers in the South Carolina game. That was bad. It was bad.
No doubt.
But I think Sage Ryan has played pretty decently. I mean, to kick when he kicked back to safety, I think he's played pretty decently. Has he been perfect? No, but he's playing better than what he was at corner for sure. Yeah. So, a lot of that you just gotta take it. It is what it is. He said freshmen want it more, and honestly, mistake is a mistake. I'd rather a freshie make a mistake and learn from it than seniors making same mistakes repetitively. It's a good point. It's a good point that Danny makes. So we'll see what they roll out there on Saturday, Reagan. Anything else as far as this game goes in the preview?
Zach, I mean, if we want to throw out another special teams thing, man, the punt's got to be good. Our punts have got to be good. We got to be able. We want to flip field position with Xavion or get plus field position. We got to be able to flip the field position with our punters.
Yeah,
and pin this offense back. We've had a few punts that haven't been great this year. We were spoiled with Jay Bramlett. He was fantastic the last 2 years. And again, field position, starting field position is certainly crucial. You don't want to be gifting Ole Miss good field position at all in this game, at all, either side. You want Xavion to make great plays, and we need our punters to flip, Zach. So that certainly is another aspect that I want to see. I mean, other than that, Zach, talking about just special teams, Damian Ramos and, man, Aaron Burrell.
They've been good.
We didn't have to worry about them at all.
No. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on
Burrell's
wood.
just putting it out the back of the end zone every time.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I like it. But certainly need we need these punters to help us out this game. We need it for sure.
All right, Reagan, let's take a quick break.
Absolutely.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law.
Right back at it here in the Tigers Avenue to wrap things up. We've given you our preview. Now it's time, Zach, for game predictions. How do we think the game will play out?
Real quickly, Ryan said keep the penalties to a minimum. We didn't mention penalties, so yeah.
I mean, I'm not questioning Ryan at all. So I want to make that clear. But has our penalties been a problem this year? I don't know if it has.
I don't think they've been that bad. We've had some games where it was more than you wanted, but it's not been where like you walked away going, "Golly, the penalties killed us."
Yeah. But you're right. I think what his point is
guys are gonna be amped up.
The point that we made with special teams. You want to take as many yards from Ole Miss as possible. You don't need any gifting. Don't gift anything to them. Hopefully, I'm not speaking out of turn for you there, Ryan. But certainly, that's something that I'm thinking about when the penalties. We can't give them anything. That's certainly what we don't need to do for this offense because they're a prolific offense. They can gash you, and if you're giving them yards, you're only shooting yourself in the foot. So, Zach, game predictions, big one. Zach, it's got playoff implications. Really, whoever wins this game sets themselves up nicely to potentially make themselves a playoff contender. So, with that being said, Zach, what's your prediction for this game?
Oh man, I hate doing this, man. I hate doing it. At the beginning of the season, I said LSU should be 10-2. I said they would lose to USC, and I said they would lose to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
What's making this a lot more difficult is the Trey Harris situation. If Trey Harris is full health, is completely healthy, I have no question about it. I'm picking Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
But now with Harris being questionable and some other injuries that they have to key players like JJ Pegasus, how healthy is Henry Parrish, even though he's going to play, just the injuries to the offensive line.
Right.
The offensive line already has been struggling. You've got 2 guys out for the offensive line. So, it's a huge question mark. On top of that, you have LSU playing at home in their 100-year anniversary celebration. You've got a stadium that's going to be 100% packed. It's at night in Death Valley. You're playing with, as you said, playoff hopes on the line. LSU's going to be playing up for that game 100%. If they don't come out guns a-blazing and like on fire, I'm going to be really concerned. But I expect this on both sides to come out guns a-blazing, playing for everything they got. So with that being said, all that makes this pick more difficult for me. And if you would have asked me a couple weeks ago about this pick, I would have told you that Ole Miss wins it going away. Not a blowout, but they win it going away. They win it comfortably. Now I'm at the point where LSU's making it difficult for me, and the injuries to Ole Miss is making it very difficult for me to not want to pick LSU. But with that said, I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to stick to my guns here. I said LSU would lose 2 games this season, even though I think that's probably changed now. I said LSU would lose to Ole Miss, and they would lose to USC. I got the USC pick correct. I'm going to stick to my guns and say that LSU loses a very close game here on Saturday to Ole Miss, and it's going to be one of those games where the game ends and we feel sick, where we feel awful because you were there. I think it's going to be a full fourth quarter ball game. I think it could potentially come down to the last possession, and I think Ole Miss wins it 34-31. A lot of people are saying, some people think it's going to be another high-scoring game like it was last year. I don't think it's going to be that way. Then you've got other people that are saying, oh, it's going to be the complete opposite. I think some people are even saying that the game could be in the mid to high 20s. I think this is a low to mid 30s game. And I think Ole Miss wins a very close one, 34-31, and a heartbreaker for LSU.
Yeah. Zach, just to throw out another thing, I would have had no problem saying that Ole Miss is winning this one had it not been for the Kentucky game as well.
Yeah.
The Kentucky game showed me there's some weaknesses.
Here's the difference, Ray. Let me cut you off real quick. Here's the difference.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Kentucky has a really good defense.
True.
They have a really good defense, and that matchup did not favor Ole Miss at all. This matchup favors Ole Miss because you have a really good offense going up against a not great defense, right? Improving defense, but not good defense,
Right.
to be quite honest. And that fact of the matter is what has made me swing to still picking Ole Miss. What did Ryan say?
I come against those words in Jesus' name.
Ryan said, I come against those words in Jesus' name.
I love it.
I shun thee.
Shun these words. Banish these words. No prediction, just win. I like that as well.
Yeah, that's a good way to roll, Ryan.
Zach, here's
With all that being said, I hope my Tigers win. I am going to be rooting hard for them to win.
Oh, absolutely.
This is one of those games where you really want to have it. Like, as an LSU fan, I really want, and for all of you that know, me and Reagan, we live in the Memphis area, but we live in Mississippi. We live in North Mississippi, and majority of fans here, college football fans here, are Ole Miss fans. Like, we are surrounded by Ole Miss fans as LSU fans. And for a long time, they have had nothing to stand on. They've had nothing to stand on against Reagan and I. But here in the past few years, obviously Lane Kiffin has brought them to where they are at right now, and they've been really good the last few years. So now they have something to stand on, right? And it's been obnoxious, to be honest. But and we have some friends that are Ole Miss fans, and I'm not saying they're obnoxious, great guys. But when it comes to just Ole Miss fans in general, like I can't stand their frat sorority fans wearing straight up Sunday morning hallelujah preaching like suits. Like you're wearing khakis, loafers, and a suit and a white button up to a football game, bro. I'm rolling out there in shorts and a t-shirt and a hat.
That's right.
With some sunglasses. You're rolling out there in some straight like Levi khakis, bro. Like what are you doing? Like man went to Men's Warehouse to get ready for the Ole Miss game. Like, get out of here with that, bro. That's obnoxious. It's obnoxious. Not like a lot of our friends aren't like that. Like a lot of our Ole Miss friends, they're honestly not like that. But like
the typical Ole Miss fan.
The typical Ole Miss fan, bro.
That's what you got.
I'm sorry. You're annoying.
I loathe it.
You're not above the world. You're not above us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You think you're above us, but you're really not. You're really not. So,
but anyways, and historically speaking, there's nothing to. Anyways,
there's nothing to stand on.
I mean, have they had some success recently? Sure. Where's the titles? That's what I want to know. National titles.
Even if you win this game, Ole Miss fans, get me a title, then start talking. Like, don't start talking to me until you win a national championship in football. I'm sorry. Can you do it in baseball? Good job. You did it in baseball. Like, congrats. Like,
by the skin of their teeth.
by the skin of your chinny chin chin, you won one national championship in baseball. Congrats.
Might not have made it. Should have made it in.
We got 7, my guy. Like, you got a long way to go. You got a long way to go.
Ryan,
so
Magnolia Bowl trophy doesn't count. Anyways,
and then we both have no room to stand on in basketball. So neither LSU fans or Ole Miss fans have anything to talk about in basketball.
We've got Shaq.
We do have Shaq.
We've got Shaq.
Who does Ole Miss have that's really good in basketball? I don't know.
Marshall Henderson.
Man pulled the Marshall Henderson out.
That's who we got. We got Shaq.
Marshall Henderson was cold in college, though.
He ain't Shaq. He ain't Shaq.
He ain't Shaq.
We're literally talking about one of the greatest centers of all time.
Ryan said Burlington or Marshall looking sales. Nah, man, that's like me and Reagan type stuff because we can't afford what them people is
They
wearing.
look like Belk. They came
We
right
going,
out
yeah, like they're going to the men's warehouse,
of
bro.
J.C. Penney.
Let me go and get fitted for the Ole Miss game, bro.
Please. Anyway,
Let me get my khakis and belt for the Ole Miss
The-
game real quick.
the fans certainly make it hard to lose to Ole Miss. There's no doubt about it.
Gosh, please beat them, LSU.
Please beat them. Please.
Please.
With that being said, I want to pick LSU so bad. I want to pick LSU so bad. But I want to eat crow. I want to say Ole Miss.
Tailored by your mama.
I love that. I want to
Can you make sure my suit fits right before the Ole Miss
say
game?
LSU so bad. And hold up. Sorry. I want to say LSU so bad, but I don't want to eat crow. I would rather say Ole Miss is going to beat us, and then we beat them.
And we rejoice later.
And we rejoice and say we were wrong. I would way rather do that. So, with that being said, to your point, Zach, LSU does not have a defense like Kentucky. But I will say this, Kentucky came into Oxford and knocked them off. We're playing in Death Valley. Full throttle, at night. Come on in. Come on in. Dad's here. Left it.
Oh no.
They go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Beat them rebels.
Dad, we need a prediction.
Louie, come here.
I sincerely believe that LSU is going to get the win Saturday.
I love
I
it.
do. I think it's going to be probably I'm going to say 34-27 win.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I said 34-31 loss. So we're kind of on the same page there as far as a score goes, over under type deal. Kind of close.
We have an absolute defensive strategy that's like stellar. I think we straight up win the game, and I
love it.
I think our team is gelling, and I really think we're going to win. Yeah.
Okay.
The front seven of the defense will get it
Dad,
done.
what do you think of Ole Miss frat boy fans?
What do you say?
Frat boy.
Fans?
Yeah, how?
What do you think of the Ole Miss frat boy fans?
And how they dress up to games and
Well, I mean, they try to appeal to the old South, but they're really the new weirdo, kind of vibe. I don't know. It's just you get around Ole Miss people, and I'm talking about the younger culture. The ones with the skinny jeans and they don't wear socks. That's just weird. Yeah, that's weird.
And a suit in 90-degree heat.
Yeah. Anyway, well, yeah.
go Tigers.
All right. Go Tigers.
One team, one heartbeat. Go Tigers.
Love you, Dad.
Thanks.
See you later.
All right, bye.
Be safe. Guest appearance.
Guest appearance.
Guest appearance. Dad left his reading glasses here at the house, so that's what happened. There you go.
We got to pick from them. That's awesome.
Anders Lee has the LSU Tigers winning 34-27. Buddy,
I'll take it.
If we win 34-27, holy cow. Holy cow. Dad about to get TA canceled coming for the Fits. Hey, Anders Lee could get us canceled real quick. He
Definitely could get us canceled.
Quick.
100%. We're talking about a man that dressed up as a woman and called himself Bayou Bertha.
That's true.
And came on the show.
And
Without our consent either. Like it was not we was trying to avoid it. We locked the door. Man straight up unlocked the door from the outside and came up there wearing wearing a woman's costume and calling himself Bayou Bertha.
I love Bayou Bertha.
Bayou Bertha always picks LSU.
We need Bayou Bertha always picks LSU, and I need a little bit of her voodoo magic on Saturday night.
Yes. A little bit of Bayou voodoo.
Zach, I will get my prediction in
Eventually
next year, but no, I'm kidding. I want to pick LSU so bad. I want to pick LSU and be right, and part of me thinks that because Zach, the home team has dominated this series in recent years. I think it's been the past 8 games the home team has won. And golly dog,
it's not 8. It's not 8.
I mean, it's been the last few games. The home team has won.
Yeah, it's like 5. It's like 5 because the last away team to win was LSU in 2019.
There you go. Also, when Ole Miss has come to Death Valley ranked in the top 10, it has never gone good for them.
2014, 2022.
They lost huge. So I want to pick them so bad.
I agree with your method. As far as picking Ole Miss goes, I agree with your thought process there.
And I feel like our offense, for some reason, I feel like our offense is going to ball. But I'm not going to do it to myself. And like you said, I'm going to stick to my guns. And I want it known. I want it made known right here, right now. If Trey Harris doesn't play, LSU wins 38 to 22.
38. Trey Harris doesn't play 38 to 22.
24, sorry. 38-24.
Golly.
If Trey Harris does not play, LSU wins 38 to 24. That's my caveat. If Trey Harris plays full game, full go, I'm going to say Ole Miss wins 35 to 33.
That's a heartbreaker.
If LSU loses, it's going to be a heartbreaker. I don't see LSU being blown out in this game. I don't see that.
It's possible. It's possible, but I don't see it either.
I don't foresee it happening in this environment, though. I just don't. And with our offense, I just don't see it. Is it possible? Sure.
Danny Girl said, "You know what the Lord says about those that are neither hot nor cold."
Spit them out.
Lukewarm.
I'll tell you right now, if Trey Harris doesn't play, I think LSU can win this thing going away.
Okay.
I don't
think that.
I don't like the way the offense looks without Trey Harris.
I think if Trey Harris is completely out, I think you could flip my scores. LSU 34, Ole Miss 31.
We'll see. But here's my official pick is Ole Miss will win 35 to 33. There's my official prediction for the game.
All right. Let's hope we eat crow.
I will eat it. I will gladly eat crow.
Let's hope on Monday when we come back, we're eating crow, and me and you are going bonkers.
That's right.
Y'all better be back here on Monday. If LSU wins, y'all better be back here on Monday because me and Reagan are going to go off.
Yep. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the game, and I want to win.
Come on, Tigers. Get a win for us, please.
Please. We're begging you, please.
All right.
All right. We're over. We got a guest surprise pick from.
Oh, Danny asked if Ryan is going to bring the Tonys to season their crow.
Please. Tony's here on everything. Just about everything.
Yeah, it's good
No,
stuff.
no cap. No
Okay.
cap.
No kizzy.
No cap. We can use Tony just about everything. By the way, Zach, for good measure, I'm eating some gumbo Saturday night.
Hey,
Gumbo for the game.
I like it. I like it.
We're cooking a gumbo. Hopefully, some Louisiana vibes here in Mississippi, right? Put the voodoo curse on Ole Miss.
I like it.
We're gonna eat some gumbo here in Mississippi for the ball game Saturday night. I'm watching it with
If we win on Saturday, I'm eating corn dogs.
Oh, you got to.
Raise them up. I'm eating a corn
Corn dogs for life.
Yep.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all interacting. Y'all been fantastic. Ryan, Danny, TT, Adam, all of you guys.
LB.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Danny says no gumbo. I did not make a gumbo on game day all season. Since then, I can no longer make it then. Danny, you are not allowed to make gumbo. I will eat my gumbo. You don't eat gumbo.
Danny can't eat gumbo.
I'll eat my gumbo. No, I'm kidding. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have been fantastic tonight. Hopefully, we'll come back here celebrating Victory Monday. Man, go Tigers. You're in the SEC play. It's a big one. It's a huge game. Tiger Stadium, 100-year celebration. Go beat the Rebels, man. Go beat them. Go beat them. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time here in the Tigers Avenue to discuss what transpires this weekend. Buster here, take us out. Peace.